for example, I'm working with this guy and he just bought 2 franchises. He had to go through the commercial lease and all of this stuff. Yeah, we could do like day 21 of trying to launch a hydration therapy spa franchise mid. Or we could say, on my 21st day of trying to launch a hydration therapy spa, I almost got screwed over for $36,000 if it wasn't for my lawyer. Here are 3 tips I learned about negotiating commercial leases. Come on. Come on. Like, think about how much more valuable that second thing is. So now you're sharing the journey. You're getting positioned as a thought leader, as an expert in the space, and you're giving someone actually a reason to listen to you. You don't have a reason before. Now they have a reason because it's your learnings. You're learning through experience. It's not just the story of your experience. So that's the curating in public. You share what you are learning in your journey. Okay? You just listen to 5 podcasts on how to saddle a horse because you're going to be a jockey. You're trying to become a professional jockey. Now what you do is you make a video saying, I just listened to 5 hours of podcasts on how to saddle a horse. Here are the 3 tips I just discovered from those podcasts. That was a crazy example, but I hope it makes sense. Then you build in private. Okay, you build your business in private. Every now and then you can kind of share a little bit about it. I'm not saying you don't have to share about it. That just shouldn't be the backbone of your content. Okay, you're building in private. You start making your money. This is what I want you guys to do after this video, because I did this exact same thing. Go look at my very first video. Look at my very first video. It is me talking about how much money I have made. My first video on the scene was something that I built in private. I built up a business in private, and then when it was time for me to start sharing more, because I figured people would care now. Okay, I made $40,000 in a month, and I was like, okay, I think now people would be interested in hearing about that. Another reason was because people were telling me to, which leads me to my third point, is you start building in public once you have a reason to build in public, once people start asking you to. This is just social proof. Like, just genuinely ask yourself, why would someone listen to me? Do you have something special? Have you hit a certain number? Have you accomplished a certain task? Have you won a certain event? Okay? It's not enough for you just to be interesting and having an interesting story. You have to have reasons. Okay? For the 0.001% of you, you might be interesting enough. Whatever. I don't really care. One more time. Curate in public. Share what you are learning. Okay? If you have to learn how to saddle a horse like a jockey, and you do that anyways, now make a video, how to saddle a horse, what I learned after 5 hours of podcasts. While you build in public, okay? Build your business. Build something special. Go become a DJ that has 10 million views. Okay? Go become a fitness person who wins a bodybuilding show at a high level. Go become a fitness person that goes and gets their first 10 brand deals. Go become a fitness person who does all these things. Go become a gamer who made 10K streaming on Twitch. Like, those are bad niches, to be very clear, but I'm just giving you the baseline example. Then, once you have done it, you can now come back into public and be like, hey guys, I just made my first $1 million flipping real estate. Here's how I did it. Now people care because they have a reason. They have a reason to care. Okay, so building in public is trash, and you shouldn't do it until you have a reason.
A lot of people are stuck at the 800 view range, or even the 1000 or 1200 view range. And the reason that's a thing is the exact same reason why people are stuck at 300 views. When you first post a video, TikTok will push your video out to about 300 people, and if there is enough engagement on that video, TikTok then pushes it out a little further. The next benchmark they push it out to is an additional around 500 people, which takes you up to the 800 view-ish range. What happens then is exactly the same at the first step. TikTok will be testing your video and how it performs for those next 500 people. And again, if it gets enough engagement at that phase, you get pushed out to the next level, so on and so forth. So as you can probably tell, the key here is engagement. The tip of using creator search insights, researching what's doing well for each query, and then adding more value than what's doing well already will always apply If you're getting stuck at certain levels, it is usually down to the content execution if it's not the content topic. So the best advice I could possibly give to people stuck at 800 or 1,000 views is to work on your hooks and work on delivering on those hooks. Your audio hook, the first thing you say, should bring in a relevant audience. The text hook on screen should inform people what the video is about. If you've done both of these correctly and you've chosen a popular enough topic, then the right people will start watching your video. The crack next is to make sure that you deliver on these well enough to get people to engage, because it's the engagement which will push you to the next level, and again at that next test phase, that engagement will push you to the next. Obviously, something I'm missing out here which is very important is getting your videos categorized so they get put in front of the right people in the first place, so then your hooks and your payoff have a big impact. So if you want me to make a video on that, just comment part 2 and I'll get that out soon. And if you're trying to take TikTok seriously, trying to gain higher views, trying to bring in some followers and trying to monetize, then we have our TikTok Growth Academy, where we're helping people in a matter of weeks completely change their accounts through the structured courses. After everything we've learned, after generating hundreds of thousands of followers and hundreds of millions of views on several accounts, and providing one-on-one support from experienced TikTok coaches. So if you want to join members like Susan, who's gaining 10 to 20,000 followers a month, and Layla, who's actually doing the same, then just click the link in our bio to learn more, and we'll see you over there. Here are 3 signs that your TikTok account is not going to grow based on growing multiple accounts and working with hundreds of other accounts to actually get views and followers and earn money from TikTok. So I'm sorry if I annoy you, but here are the things we see most. And if you do any of these things, do know that it usually only takes a few changes for you to see a lot of growth on TikTok. And with a lot of views and with a lot of followers, you can completely change how you're making an income. So it is worth investing the time and the effort to crack the somewhat TikTok code. Now, the first sign that you're not going to grow on TikTok is that you're participating in teamwork trends, mass following trends, and commenting on videos saying follow for follow, or DMing people saying follow for follow. You might get followers this way, but none of your followers are going to have anything in common, which means none of your videos are going to land with enough people for them to do well in the long run. And also, it shows that you're spending time trying to force some followers your way, rather than spending the time figuring out how to make better content or make your content land better, so you naturally just get followers. The second sign that your TikTok account's not going to grow is that you've posted a lot of videos, all in the same format, and none of them have done very well. That obviously sounds like a no-brainer, but it's a sign that you're not going to grow on TikTok because you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If the content that you're making is not generating views and followers, it means that that content isn't right yet. This is a really quick fix if you're someone who does this. Start experimenting a little bit. Step 1 would be to find one video in your niche that has done really well. Try and figure out why, and apply some of those principles to your next video. The third sign that your TikTok account's not going to grow, and I could have chosen probably 10 different things here, so I probably will make a follow-up to this, but it's the fact that it's very hard to figure out from watching your videos who the video is for. That might sound a little complicated, but after this, if you watch one of your videos and try and think, who is this video targeted to? And your answer is everyone, or as many people as possible, or